Watch out for the next predicament, my gorgeous Leonie. Please listen to me very carefully. Watch out for the next predicament right at the beginning of this week. You're gonna hear something, what you're gonna hear and what you're gonna become aware of. You're not going to like it whatsoever. It is to do with a cold, hard truth, okay? And this cold, hard truth that you are going to become aware of, this is to do with the truth. The key word here is the truth, because you are really, someone is going to be so honest with you, somebody who is so close to you, like a family member or a great friend or somebody, is just going to have absolutely enough of you feeling so unhappy about something really, really specific. This in itself was going on for such a long time, and it drained your energy, drained your emotions to the point where you're actually absolutely dried out, especially lately. And that in itself has caused an internal blockage, which is a kind of slowing you down. And if you carry on like this, then that means that you're not honest with yourself, and that means that you are going to be losing out on life, because this is indeed affecting your personal balance. So this cold, honest truth that you are going to become aware of, this cold, hard truth, the key word here is honest. Someone is going to be literally honest with you, but you're not going to like it. But this in itself, it's ever so important, because that was affecting you so much, you not being honest with yourself. So this in itself, it's a really, really important for you to understand, because you haven't been honest with yourself. What is actually making you feel so unhappy? You've been trying and trying and trying, and every single time when you tried, it's just kind of like really nothing came out of it. So something really genuinely has come to an end in your life, but you need to kind of realize what this is. So this is why my saying, and I decided to start this reading with, watch out for the next predicament, my gorgeous Leonie, because this is indeed going to be very much so connected to the cold, hard truth that you are. Most certainly, it's not that this is going to surprise you so much. The truth is going to be highlighted. What's going on in your life? What's making you feel so unhappy? But you're not doing anything about it, and life is going to pass you by, and then, right at the end, in 100 years, then you're going to be like, oh my God, I should have done something. So this is why this is so important. The only reason why you're going to be kind of thrown out of balance a little bit, it's only because you're going to feel mentally unprepared. But you need to understand, you are kind of like watching out for the next predicament. It is ever so important to be prepared for it, because at the same time, this cold, hard truth that you are going to become, that is going to be highlighted, that you're going to be told, it's also like kind of making you to not to be ready to move on with your life, and it's also making certain things stale, and that in itself, it's really kind of keeping you down, and it keeping you low, and it keeping you constantly in your comfort zone. And and that's not really comfort zone anymore. It's more like a torture, my gorgeous Leonie. Indeed, you need this shaking up. You need this shaking ups, my gorgeous Leonie. This is indeed going to shake things up for you, but you need a bit of a shaking up, because otherwise you will stay in your comfort zone. So prepare for a little bit of a shaking up, my gorgeous Leonie. But when it comes to, but just remember that this is going to actually, this shake up, something is going to shake your world. Something is going to rock this is going to shake your world up, this is going to rock your world. But this is ever so important when it comes to you keeping it all in balance, especially when it comes to you, taking a really, really big step. And the big step that you are going to need to make here, this is exactly what you're going to decide. This is all going to contribute towards you, like really having my God, just like kind of like towards you, like stepping back and kind of realizing that, now it's time to really kind of move on. on with a big chunk of your lives. But now at the same time, at the same time, what you need to understand is that this is all kind of bringing you, and helping you to get a different perspective, okay? Especially when it comes to a different perspective, especially on the fact that this life is really short and you don't want to spend time and energy on people and things that simply don't deserve your time. Just remember this, my gorgeous Leone. This is ever so important, okay? That this is gonna this is important for this person to come forward, to kind of like a little bit honest with you, brutally honest with you. But this is ever so needed when it comes to you having your world shaken up to the point where you're just gonna be absolutely left with no ocean, but realizing that, in order to keep it all in balance, you do need to make a really important move, important step, okay? And this in itself, it's like as I said, it's all about this is all going to help you to get a different perspective on all this. And that in itself, it's really going to, especially different perspective on the fact that, the life is really short and you don't want to spend time and energy, on people and things that simply don't deserve your time. It's like, oh my God, my gorgeous Leone. And also, when it comes to the beginning of this week, what you need to remember is that there is some kind of important conversation about making some kind of traveling journey, like a very important conversation. It is going to be about making an important journey. This in itself, I don't need to tell you, and I don't need to keep on repeating how important this is, because you have been waiting for this for a while. I think that you needed to make this trip and you needed to make this journey before, but something happened, oh God happened, something kind of like a negative that slowed you down, and it prevented you from making this trip and making this journey. I feel very strongly that this journey was meant to made last year, exactly 1 year ago, okay? This journey and this trip was needed to make this trip or journey, exactly 1 year ago. But something happened, and then there was some kind of outside influences that you haven't been contemplated, and this have kind of prevented you to make this journey. My gorgeous Leone, this is so important that you do find the time to make this journey. There is something else going to happen at around the same time. Something is going to happen to somebody else, whether this is going to be some kind of animal of yours, or whether this is going to be like a person in your life, or somebody who means to you so much. There is something that you're going to hear about a specific person, and this is going to make you really worried. This is going to make you really worried. But you must I'm going to be completely honest with you, but you must not really kind of mess things up for yourself with that. And I don't want to sound horrible, or you don't want to mess things up for yourself, but what am I trying to say, my gorgeous Leone? That it's basically that you just really literally you need to the bottom line is that you are going to hear something negative about some person in your life or some kind of animal in your life that you love really dearly, and this is really gonna oh my God, it's gonna scare you a little bit, and it's gonna make you worried a little bit, and it's immediately going to put you in a mode you're gonna change these plans, No baby, no, you do not change your plans. You can work around it. Just remember to work around it. Do not change your plans. And even if you wanted to go to that trip or that journey, for example, for 3 weeks, or you wanted to go for 2 weeks, and now because you're going to hear something that someone needs your help, someone who really loves you, and somebody who means to you so much, someone who you feel very emotionally connected to, or this is to do with an animal in your life that you had for many years, So you just need to remember to work around it. Do not cancel these plans whatsoever. Even if you're meant to go to have this trip or journey for about 2 weeks, for example, okay, change it to maybe a week, change it to maybe 3 days, but it's ever so imperative and it's ever so important for you to make this step when it comes to going on this journey. There is more to it that you can possibly imagine, because it doesn't matter when you're going to go to have this trip, it doesn't matter when you're going to have this journey. The bottom line is that the energy is connected to this particular moment in time, this journey is so important because you are going to find out something absolutely mind-blowing about yourself. Like, you are going to have probably one of the most beautiful spiritual experiences when it comes to that particular journey, and you need to go on that journey because you will see something, you will experience something, you will get a flavor of how you want exactly your life to be. And after that happens, everything is going to change because you're going to go on a completely different level in your own life, and suddenly you are going to reconnect with yourself, and you are going to have this desire to recover what is lost in your life. But this is more to do with your feelings, with your emotions, with your happiness, with your optimism, with the actual quality of life. But none of this is going to happen if you're not honest with yourself, my gorgeous Leone, indeed. And also, when it comes to the meat part of this week, now what I want to say to you, when it comes to the meat part of this week, you are going to feel a little bit dissatisfied, and you are going to feel just a little bit disappointed because you still didn't achieve something that you thought that you're going to achieve by this stage, at this stage of your life. So it's about you feeling dissatisfied and disappointed because some kind of solid foundation hasn't been laid yet that you can build upon, for example, and there isn't an achievement that you wanted to have when it comes to something very, very specific. So now at that moment in time, you know that there is actually going to be, at that moment in time, my gorgeous Leone, what is actually really important to say, that you are going to have, at around that time, you are going to have a very, very interesting conversation with somebody very, very significant, very interesting conversation with this very, very strong person, somebody who is like some kind of a leader, somebody who is like very intelligent, somebody who is very smart, somebody who is very clever, somebody who is like a business orientated, but somebody who is also like a spiritual, and somebody who really adores nature, and somebody who adores animals. This person is very unusual in so many different ways, but this person is also rather beautiful in so many different ways as well. You are going to have a very interesting conversation with that particular person, and then you're going to understand, and you're going to realize what exactly do you need to do, because through that conversation you're also going to have some kind of idea. You're going to get an idea, what do you want to do? It's not when it comes to your life, but it's not just like through that conversation. It's more about like you're going to have an interesting conversation about certain things. You're going to be talking about what's on your mind, but it's more about like you having an idea through what this person is doing in their life right now, what they have achieved and what they have done. It's all going to lead towards you having a very interesting idea what you want to actually do. But you are this is a lot to do with you kind of being in the flow, indeed, and knowing subconsciously that the goal is near. So you're just being guided by this wonderful energy. So you will know what do you need to do, and that in itself is going to require from you to act now. If you act now, my gorgeous Leone, you're literally going to develop fast, like, oh my God. And that in itself, it's gonna kind of make you feel so much less restricted, and at the same time just remember that you are being in the flow, okay? Because all the reason that all this actually happened is because you are extremely intuitive, throughout this week, indeed, and this was all bringing you to this absolutely wonderful point and a wonderful moment in time, especially when it comes to your own little awakening, but also especially when it comes to you repeating those things persistently for way too long that have been making you feel unhappy. So now you just need to unpack this, like really be honest with yourself, put your foot down and do something about it. This is all going to lead, my gorgeous Leone, towards you gaining an insight, especially on what do you need to reevaluate when it comes to your life, but also when it comes to old beliefs, when it comes to you understanding some kind of old beliefs, and when it comes to you understanding, when it comes to you finding new truths, but most importantly about yourself. You are going to feel extremely supported by those people in your life as well. And few people, especially when it comes to some kind of a skill, something that you're really great at, and a few people in your life who mean to you so much are going to mention, like for example, something, how great you are about some kind of skill. And that in itself, the reason why this is where you're going to be surprised. My God, like few people told me this, how good I am at this particular thing, this particular skill, and few different people in your life that are connected to you are going to just randomly mention this without you doing even anything. And now you need to understand that this is the power of synchronicity, trying to make you aware of the fact that very, very soon, in exactly 17 days, in exactly 17 days after that moment in time, an opportunity, it's already going to arise that you are going to become aware of, which is going to be completely connected to that particular skill that you have been mentioned about. And yet again, this is a wonderful, mind-blowing moment in time where you are going to realize the power of the actual synchronicity indeed. And also, when it comes to the last part of this week, my gorgeous Leonie, now you see, this is something that I need you to pay attention to. This is so important. This is something that I need you to pay attention to, because you are really going to have this very much so intuitive message, psychic message, this intuitive message. Something is going to be on your mind. Something is going to be on your mind. And this is again to do with you trying to fit in, trying to fit in somewhere where you don't belong, trying to fit in somewhere where you just like kind of your karma has come to an end with. So this is what you need to work on, okay? This is going to come to you intuitively, and it's going to happen at a time at around the end of the week. You know that you're going to be doing something completely on your own, completely by yourself, and you're really going to be enjoying yourself. You're going to be so creative, and you're going to be loving what you're going to be doing at around the end of the week. You're really going to be expressing yourself in so many different ways, in the ways that you never express yourself. And then and there you're going to realize something very specific about what you want to do and about your passion as well. And at that moment in time, this level of optimism and excitedness and passion that you're going to feel is just going to go through the roof in the best possible way. And it's going to make you aware of how there are so much better things for you to do. There's so many better places for you to actually be part of, But, and this is going to bring this, like psychic message here, like for example, like psychic and intuitive message that you are trying to fit in somewhere where you don't belong anymore. And that is just so important, because it's going to open your eyes, and it's also going to make you aware of the fact that you are ready for something new. But before that, you need to work out what do you need to let go. You have to let go of fear, and everything will be absolutely fine. You have to let go of fear, and everything is going to be absolutely fine, my gorgeous Leonie. Indeed, this is ever so important. And like some kind of a loyal friend and somebody who's like a consistent person in your life at around the end of the week, it's also going to give you a suggestion when it comes to making a really wise investment as well. And this is something that you shouldn't be ignoring, because it's going to turn out to be rather fruitful time in your life as well. And also, my gorgeous Leonie, when it comes to the last part of this week, what else I was going to say, you need to be patient. You need to be patient, my gorgeous Leonie, especially when it comes to some kind of loneliness. You are going to feel like you need to be patient when it comes to you feeling lonely, because that in itself, it's like kind of like you're not only going to feel maybe lonely, but maybe there is going to be just some little bit of like a heartbreak, just a little bit like of a heartbreak going on. So that in itself, it's like that in itself means that, by being patient, when it comes to you, like being a little bit lonely, and it's to do with just like a little bit of heartbreak, I'm afraid. But then again, you need to understand to be patient, because it almost looks like, please, this is important, because you are going to hear something here. And then this is going to, oh God, it's like a little bit of a betrayal in a one way, but on another hand, it's just like a little bit of heartbreak. And then you're just going to be, you need to understand, please, Please understand this. Do not make an impulsive mistake. Do not make an impulsive mistake here. Do not make an impulsive mistake, please. So that's why I say to be patient, and to be patient. By being patient, you do not make an impulsive mistake, because only a couple of days later you're going to change your mind, almost as if you're going to feel like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. No, baby, no. It's an impulsive mistake. Just remember the word patient is ever patient. Be patient. It's ever so important. By being patient, you are going to notice subtle changes you would never notice before. By noticing subtle changes, you are at the same time choosing to empower yourself. By empowering yourself, you are also healing yourself. And by healing yourself, you are about to start seeing things crystal clear. And you are actually going to be very, very pleased only 2 or 3 days after this moment in time. So it's going to start like you needing a patient when it comes to some kind of heartbreak and betrayal. But then at the same time, only 2 or 3 days later, you are going to feel absolutely excited, ecstatic, and rather pleased that things actually did turn out this way. Okay, my gorgeous Leonie, thank you ever so much for watching my videos. I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace, and light to every single one of you. Thank you ever so much for watching my videos. Sasha Bonasin, Psychic Medium. Love you. Bye.